Millions of people were impacted by an unseen and quiet threat in the early 20th century without ever realizing it. This is the tale of tetraethyl lead, a substance with a troubled past, subtle effects, and the extreme fallout from its extensive use. To understand the story of tetraethyl lead, we must delve into the life and work of one man who played a pivotal role in its development, Thomas Mitchell Jr., a talented but contentious genius whose inventions will forever change the world. Growing up in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, Thomas Mitchell Jr. had a deep curiosity about the world around him. His early life predicted a bright mind that would transform businesses in the future but also bring up moral dilemmas. His academic pursuit and rigor took him to Cornell University, where he graduated with a mechanical engineering degree. He quickly made his way into the fields of invention and research. When he joined Charles F. Kettering's research team at General Motors in 1916, his career took off. Tetraethyl lead was possibly the most important or controversial contribution made by Mitchell. As the automobile industry expanded in the 1920s, manufacturers were beset by the problem of engine knocking.
But listen, you old-timers, hear that? And here's a picture of the villain on the soundtrack. Now you can sing. Did you ever see a knock knocking? Well, I did. What caused the knock? That's what everybody wanted to know prior to 1922.
Mitchell looked for a solution with his team at GM. After conducting a number of tests, they found that the knocking issue could be solved by mixing tetraethyl lead with gasoline, which made high compression engines possible. The substance prevented gasoline from igniting too soon in the engine cylinders, enabling a more regulated and effective combustion process. ETHYL revolutionized the automobile sector. It made high compression engine design possible, opening the door to the development of vehicles with more speed and power. Cars' ease of use made them become a symbol of advancement, providing a level of personal and professional mobility never before possible. As the popularity of automobiles increased, governments realized how important it was to have fast road networks. Highways were built in response to the need for effective transportation, connecting cities and regions. The development of automobiles also changed how our towns were built. As the number of automobiles on the road increased, accommodating them became the main focus of urban planning.
Gasoline. Powerful stuff. Modern magic. Our lives, our business, our cities are patterned on motor transportation which gasoline has made possible.
Tetraethyl lead continued to be essential to the development of aircraft engines as the aviation industry took off. A new age in aviation travel was ushered in by this invention. Leaded gasoline made it possible to develop more potent and effective aircraft engines, extending flight times and increasing the number of people who could travel by air. However, what many didn't realize at the time was the hidden danger associated with the seemingly miraculous additive. Tiny lead particles were discharged into the air when engines used leaded fuel, contaminating the air and the land, poisoning the environment, and seriously endangering the health of both people and animals. Once believed to be a problem only associated with rare occasions, lead poisoning had evolved into a public health emergency. Peril was unleashed into the air as the engines roared with leaded gasoline. Poisonous clouds were created by combustion engines consuming ETHYL, which emitted lead particles into the sky. The airborne concentration of lead reached concerning levels in densely populated metropolitan areas. The environment and human health were both seriously at risk from this airborne lead. Lead poisoning resulted as people breathed or ate the settling lead particles. Lead caused a variety of health problems once it entered the circulation, but it most commonly affected the kidneys, neurological system, and cognitive abilities. The skepticism rose when the first victims of ETHYL emerged. A worker from the ETHYL company died of lead poisoning with 4 others losing sanity. While corporations knew about such hazards, they remained silent and continued in expanding its industry. In a press conference made in 1924, the ETHYL Corporation claimed that the effects were non-pertinent to that of leaded gasoline. In 1928, GM, along with its own researchers, labeled early precautions as being overly sensitive and soon leaded gasoline became prevalent, just like how corporations wanted. Frank Howard, the vice president of the ETHYL Corporation, even went on to call TEL a gift of God, claiming that continued development of motor fuels is essential in our civilization. The effects went beyond humans. Plant life was at risk due to the substance that had landed on the soil. Because of the contamination, their growth was disturbed, resulting in greater consequences for their nature. Lead poisoning also had an impact on the wildlife, including birds and aquatic forms of animals. Neurological problems in birds derived from TEL made it difficult for them to survive and navigate. Pollution of rivers and seas marred habitats of fish and aquatic life. The marketing of leaded gasoline took an unexpected turn when health concerns surfaced. Commercials praised leaded gasoline, highlighting its benefits for high compression engines and downplaying the health concerns of lead exposure. Tetraethyl industry backers, including DuPont, Standard Oil, and General Motors, had a significant influence on public opinion. Their impact permeated media outlets, reshaping stories and diverting attention from health risks. Because they frequently depended on advertising money, journalists were reluctant to question the narrative that these large firms were pushing. The public's knowledge and the growing scientific understanding became discordant as a result. Voices of opposition surfaced in spite of the dominant narrative. In an effort to change the conversation to one of public safety, environmentalists, scientists, and health advocates issued warnings about the risks associated with leaded gasoline. Grassroots organizations and public rallies aimed to challenge the shiny image created by commercials, emphasizing the urgent need to address the health hazards linked with lead exposure. The conflict between advancement, corporate interests, and public health reached a tipping point as the awareness increased. The efforts of concerned individuals gave public campaigns a boost, accelerating change. Global public health and environmental advocates pushed for regulatory measures as a means of demanding action. The scientific community was instrumental in establishing the opposition to tetraethyl lead. Governments around the world responded to the mounting public outcry and scientific evidence by taking action. TEL phasing out of gasoline became an international project. Cooperative efforts attempted to lessen the environmental effects of this once common addition, safeguarding public health and cutting down on lead emissions. On January 1, 1996, the Clean Air Act banned the usage of leaded gasoline for on-road vehicles in the U.S. Numerous other governments also imposed prohibitions, bringing an end to an era in which leaded gasoline was the norm. After originally being reluctant to change, the car sector had to adjust. With the development of lead-free substitutes, engines could continue to run without the harmful consequences of leaded gasoline. In 2021, Algeria became the last nation to ban the use of leaded gasoline. The United Nations Environmental Programme declared the official end of the usage of TEL in cars. The ban of TEL marked a turning point in the automotive industry. On a smaller scale, it triggered a start to an era with more sustainable options for fuel. From leaded gasoline to unleaded gasoline and now even electricity, the form of energy in transportations has been ever rapidly changing for seeking safety as its first priority. On a larger scale, it launched an era where collective effort proved more powerful than a few chosen megacorporations. In the annals of technological advancement, the story of tetraethyl lead serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the complex balance between invention and unexpected byproducts. From the glory days of leaded gasoline to its final ban, the story depicts the triumph of public health against corporate interests. It is a reminder that the decisions we make in the name of progress have far-reaching consequences, prompting us to proceed with mindfulness, forethought, and a dedication to protecting the health of our planet and its inhabitants.